why don't I talk about 5G in North America and why 5G is something that is moving the market, right? The market movers really think worldwide as it relates to 5G are really starting to really develop their strategies and use cases in North America. Now, fortunately, the major telcos there have been looking at this and been collaborating with their partners for over 2 years. So the emphasis that they're putting on that really is not an overall network upgrade, but more or less very specific use cases that can demonstrate areas where they can actually make money and develop subscribers that potentially they didn't have in the past. The U.S. market has been very dynamic around 5G, right? The introduction of new products really were kind of triggered for the need, or around the need for front haul, which was our E-band. And then there have been a multitude of 5G auctions that have really spurred the major operators to be able to do POCs, to do field trials, and to kind of really experiment with the technology as a whole. Those have been going on for several years. In fact, E-band is probably, and front haul is probably one of the biggest applications today, and I think it's more or less a mature technology, but as it's being used in 5G, more and more we're seeing them deploy into the major cities in the United States. It's not something they've decided to deploy rurally, but I think it's something that we will see over the next 12 months. The major telcos that I think you see in the North American region also are thinking more or less around the best way to evolve from their 4G networks to their 5G networks. And some of the technologies that existed just a couple of years ago are really starting to be deployed now. I think one of the issues that the operators face is that they don't necessarily know all of the answers to what 5G is. And there's some very unique use cases that are out there that they're really kind of counting on their supplier networks. There's a very large opportunity that's coming into the U.S. region with the advance of a merger between T-Mobile and Sprint, and some of the spectrum assets and also corporate assets needed to be cleaved off from both of those companies for the merger to go through. The great thing about that is that there's the emergence of a company that potentially could be the fourth largest mobile operator in the United States called Dish Networks, and they're trying to deploy a 5G network that's very, very different than the evolution of 2G to 3G to 4G, and it's really more or less an open RAN style and a greenfield opportunity for them to really compete in a very competitive, mature mobile market, but with a 5G network that really has no excess baggage of the years before. And I think you're seeing that as really, I think, the first entrant into I think what's going to turn out to be a very, very competitive North American market in mobility, and the different other use cases around fixed wireless access for the American market.